Okay, so um, pardon me. Let me get this right. Okay, so um, yeah. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. So today I'll just like to show a quick demo video on a polyglot architecture. So in maybe C sharp .NET. So what is the goal? What was the goal of this project? So the goal of this project was to create like a sentiment API that could detect if a statement is positive or a negative statement. So for example, if I say I am happy today, it should be able to infer that that is a positive statement. Or if I say the boy is stupid. So it should be able to infer that that's a negative statement. So, um, what were the challenges? So, when dealing with .NET or C Sharp, you could have some challenges in achieving this because, as we all know, it's not for now too heavy on machine learning, but there are ways around. Excuse me, there are ways around it which we could use. So we have a package in C Sharp.NET, which is the ML.NET, which can help us to perform this analysis. But uh, why would you want to go through all that stress when you have natural language processors available for you on Hugging Face that are very robust and very nice? So you could just use maybe download a model from Hugging Face that could do sentiment analysis for you and have it running on your CPU or system. Or you could also use their APIs, but as at the time of doing this back then, their API was down for some reason. So I opted for downloading the model and having it on my system running. So that way I'm always up and running. So now, if you would want to use your ML.NET package in C Sharp .NET, you would want to convert because the model on Hugging Face comes as a .h file model. So you want to convert it to maybe a .onnx model, which has several steps of doing that. That is if you want a wholesome .c sharp model. But a way around it is using leveraging the Python's packages and modules for machine learning. So we know that Python has a lot of modules and easy features that can perform machine learning seamlessly. So we could use a fast API that processes uh, the .h file model from Hugging Face. We could use that and then make our .NET API listen to that one and inferences from there are just sent through to the .NET API, and you continue running your .NET application. So you having a .NET API that calls Python Fast API. So this will help us to achieve our polyglot architecture. So this is your fast API created, very simple. You can see I'm having the tokenizer. This is the name, the still based on case. That's the name on Hugging Face, and I have my model located in this folder. So just a simple predict function to do that, and you expose this a route for that here. So after doing this, you go and run your application. I already have it running here, so it's running it's running on port 800 8000. Yeah, here. So at 8000, that's where it's running. So if I should open this, you have it here, details not found. So here we could just use our Swagger API and do .docs and run it. So you see it happening here already, right? So it's already happening here. If I click on this, I could already try it out and have something like, hey, um, you look good. So let's see if this is a positive or a negative. So it's saying positive and it's about 99.9% sure that this is a positive statement. So what if I say you don't look good? Let's say something as easy, simple as that. You do not, or let's say, you do not look good. You do not look good. Something as it says negative, it's also a 99.9% sure. So now the problem is, what if you have a wholesome, you want a whole all .NET or C Sharp API that works on its own separate. So you wouldn't want to have this in the mix. You would want to have a .NET API that runs this. So you could now create your .NET API. So let's go here, and here's my .NET API. So we have the service. Uh, this is the service. So the service listens to this port, that's the 8000, which we have on the Fast API, and then it gets responses. So the response from there, it reads it and sends it out. So now, as we all know, we have the controller. So we go to your controller, sentiment controller, and then the sentiment controller uses that service. You inject it using your dependency injection. It uses that service dot analyze sentiment request. So whatever request you put here, it goes into that service, and that service talks to the Fast API. The Fast API gives a response, and this service gives a response. So what we would want to do is, as you all know, you register your dependencies in your .NET, in your program.cs file, and everything. So what we would want to do is to run this Fast API while that one is, run our controller, our .NET API, and try out our .NET API. So in our application, it will be working with the .NET API, and the .NET API calls the Fast API. So this is your polyglot architecture in action. So let's wait for it to come up. It's running. Yes, here it goes. Okay, so we have the sentiment analysis. This is the .NET now open at this port 32700. So when you run it, so let's try it out with the .NET now. And we have, let's say, okay, what if we say something like she is singing? Is that a positive statement? Oh Lord. Let's see. Maybe I've done something. Let's say she is beautiful. She is beautiful. Okay, so connection refused. Why connection refused? URL fetch course. So why is my connection refusing? Oh, for not found. Just a second. Let's debug this. Let's see what's happening. This is still my anaconda. I'm looking for my prompt. I'm only having anaconda prompt open here. Okay. Let's see. Why am I having? Did I containerize anything? Are you sure you want to remove the container? I remove the container. Let's see. Why is it even containerized? Okay. So let me run it again and see. in a container. Maybe I should just wait. Hold on. I should just remove the Docker file there. Let's let's hold on. Let me delete this Docker file for now. Delete this Docker file for now. Oh, it's in a container. I should just run it as HTTPS instead of a container. So let me run it again. Yeah, I can still generate the Docker file if I want. Uh, Still running containers. Let's try this out and see. Sentiment analysis. Okay, let's see. She is fine. Yeah, so you can see we have positive. It's 99.9 sure that it is positive. So let's try. Let's say she's singing. Is a happy person singing or a negative person? So it's positive. It's also positive. Okay, let's say she's crying. Will that be a negative statement or positive statement? What do you think? Negative. So it says negative. So you can see that it's calling. Yeah, why it's calling um uh the fast API and it works just fine. So this is a quick example of a polyglot architecture uh, for uh, app development. So thank you and have a nice day.